One of the big part of learning is mentorships and having mentors. What's your experience been like with mentors? Have you had mentors yourself as an engineering manager? How do you recommend software engineers think about finding or how to work with a mentor at a company?
Yeah, I think mentorship is critical to like long-term success. I've had several mentors throughout my career at different stages. I still have a mentor, continue to like receive a lot of input and value from that. I think the most important thing for a successful mentorship is the mentee just has to do a bit of that soul searching and deep thought on like what it is that they want to grow in and why. They have to come in with that clarity. Like you don't want to go to a mentorship with this some kind of vague goal of like I want to get promoted. That always kind of like is not as useful. Those are often better conversations to have with your manager. Whereas with a mentor, you want kind of certain areas of skills that often you have identified jointly with your manager of like these are growth areas. And your mentor should be someone who is like known to be skilled in that area. And then you go into it and you have like constrained mentorship in terms of, oh, it's a 3 month mentorship, or have that kind of defined beforehand and have that goal in your head of like coming out of the mentorship where you want to be. Those mentorships are the most effective. Like when I had a mentor as an EM that was focused on vision setting, it was so useful to go in to be like, okay, there's going to be a annual planning exercise coming up, and I have to tell the vision of the team in terms of what they're doing for a year. Going into that mentorship with that clear goal of like what happens at the end for me and why I have to grow my skills. We were so focused in every conversation on like getting there and like action items and like people to talk to and like resources to look at. So highly recommend going into mentorships with that clear time window as well as a clear goal and growth areas for yourself is a effective tool. And one important note is having multiple mentors. Like if you have different areas, it doesn't hurt to have like more than one. Like I wouldn't have more than three. I think that's too much. But you vary the frequency, find a technical mentor and like different areas mentors, like very common combination, having two different mentors. So yeah, I think as long as you understand your growth areas and you're aligned with the goals of investing in those areas, the mentorships really pay off.
Yeah, and usually, unless a company has like a formal mentorship program, whenever I hear about mentors, it's usually like an informal relationship. How do you recommend the mentees find an approach and I guess incentivize, will I get a mentor excited to want to work with them?
Yeah, I think the thing that everyone has to understand is the more you grow, the higher focus on developing others and helping others. I wouldn't say never, but it's very rare to see people that have grown that are not excited to jump at an opportunity to mentor someone. So I think the bigger problem that you're calling out here is with the lack of a formal structure. How do you find these mentors? I think there's almost nothing you have to do to get them interested or excited. If they see that you have done some thought and you identify goals, like people will be jumping in to help you. They're so excited to help others. The incentives are in place for them to help others as well in terms of their career ladders and everything. So in terms of finding mentors, I mean, getting the word out is a little hard. It's almost like humbling in a way to come out and say, I need help. And kind of telling people that you need help can be a little tricky. So you just have to be looking at it through a lens of it's a commitment to yourself to grow. And it's a drive for growth. And growth is something really to celebrate. And if you look at it through that lens, as opposed to something that, it's often people look at it through the lens of, oh, I'm bad at this, which is absolutely not the right way to look at it. I think finding motivation in that pursuit of mastery and growth, once you get to that mental place, you will start talking to everyone around you to say like, hey, I'm looking to grow in this area. Do you have suggestions for mentors? Or even if you see someone, let's say vision setting was one area that I wanted to grow, or earlier in your career, maybe you're thinking in terms of like ownership of the roadmap. That's an often like early to mid career growth area. Like how do you own the technical roadmap? How do you influence the product roadmap? If you see someone who's doing a very good job of it, I can guarantee you if you ping them privately, even if you don't have a prior relationship and tell them, hey, this is something I'm interested in going in, either they will be willing to be your mentor or they will find someone for you. people are the community is often very strong, and you will definitely find people that want to help. So yeah, I think building relationships, getting the word out that these are your growth areas, being clear and looking for opportunities for like people you see as like good at that certain skill will definitely lead to finding a good mentorship, irrespective of any formal structure in place.
If you enjoyed this clip, make sure you watch the entire video, which has a lot more content just like this. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our episodes where we talk to leaders in the tech industry, from software engineers to product managers to engineering manager, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also click the notification bell.